Home Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kmu Live Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggi, and joining me again tonight is Janine Radke. How's everything going, Janine?
It's going great. It's been a busy day. How are you?
Not doing too bad. Enjoying a weekend or a week off from work. I decided to take a week off and try to get some things caught up around my house or my apartment and stuff like that. And it's been a busy week. And of course, I've been trying to keep up with Kansas Missing and Unsolved, and that's been keeping me pretty busy. I've done a lot of located safes this week, which is good to see. I'm glad I'm doing those. I did have a couple, located deceased, which is always sad, but I like doing the located saves. It's nice that even when they're found deceased, at least the family knows, knows where their loved one is. So
yeah, definitely. So before we get started, though, because I know you're a WWE fan too.
Yeah.
Are you ready for WrestleMania?
Oh, getting there. I'm getting there.
You need to get Netflix back. It's the way to go.
Yep. Definitely. I know my daughter wants to get it back too, so.
Yeah.
But for a whole different reason. She likes her anime and yeah.
Yeah, my kids watch it too, and that's just not anything I've ever been able to get into. It's just been one of those things that's I've tried to watch some of it with my youngest daughter, and it just hasn't worked.
Right. Me either. I've tried watching it with her, and I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just too old. I don't know. I don't know. But I do want
both, right?
Yeah. I do want to show this and remind everybody that the Canton area spring market, that's April 26th of this month, 9 to 3. I'll be at the 108 West 2nd location in Galva, Kansas that day. This is what they've kind of made to announce my appearance there on April 26th. And those are be a short bio accompanying it that they asked me to write. And so I wrote up real quick. But yeah, that's where I will be with the Kansas Missing and Unsolved table on April 26th from 9 to 3. It's going to be an early morning that day.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool that you're, branching out and doing more of the live events too. Be able to get some face-to-face time with people.
Yeah, that's my goal is to, continue doing what I'm doing online, of course, but I also want to get out, like you say, get out in public, meet with people, talk to people, and that kind of thing. And just kind of, share what's going on online with people and, out in public and invite them to join us here online and check out the page, check out the podcast, and make sure everybody's sharing the podcast and liking or subscribing to the YouTube page and following the Facebook page, or follow us on Twitter, follow us on Blue Sky. Keep us going, spread the word about us. Let everybody know what we're doing out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be back after this real brief little break here real quick, and then we'll come back and start covering some cases.
Part 1, Cold Cases, Stories Left Untold, Families Seeking Answers, and Justice Waiting in the Shadows. Together, we uncover the truth.
And saw Rodney's comments, shared you with a bunch of people. Thank you, Rodney. Greatly appreciate that. This one, I just got an email on this one yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And this was actually it started out as a unidentified remains case is what it started out as. Let me show you one of my early, this is the first flyer that I did for this back in 2012 for this unidentified remains. And then I updated it in 2019 to this because I did a digital reconstruction kind of thing. But this is where we are now, and this is basically the I got an FBI release yesterday in my email, and I did a flyer based on that. And this is Jimmy Dollison. It says KBI and the Anderson County Sheriff's Office have positively identified human remains that were found near Garnett, Kansas in April of 1973, providing answers to a family after 52 years. Jimmy Allen Dollison had been living in Kansas City, Kansas when he went missing. He disappeared sometime in October or November 1972. He was 16 years old, and according to family members, he was reported missing by his parents, but the family never learned what happened to Jimmy. On April 18, 1973, the decomposing remains of an unidentified male were located 3 miles southeast of Garnett, Kansas, off 1550 Road. He was found wearing a brown corduroy jacket, a green long-sleeve button shirt, jeans, and a black leather belt with a large belt buckle, brown hiking boots, and a navy blue stocking cap. He was also wearing 2 gold rings with crosses, a ring with the number 78, and a silver chain with a large cross. During the autopsy in 1973, the coroner ruled the man's manner of death a homicide due to signs of trauma. It was determined the man was around 20 years old and believed to have had brown hair and a slender build. Over the years, many attempts were made to identify the remains and learn what happened to the man. In 2024, DNA was extracted from the remains so that a DNA profile could be utilized for forensic genetic genealogy testing. This advanced testing, conducted by Othram, attempts to uncover family relationships in order to identify any living relatives of the person who is unidentified. The funding to conduct the testing was provided by the National Missing and Identified Persons System, or NamUs, administered by the National Institute of Justice and managed through a contract with Research Triangle Institute International. In early 2025, KBI learned the testing had identified relatives of the unknown man. After further investigation, KBI agents and the Anderson County Sheriff's Office located the man's siblings. They conducted interviews and collected DNA from a sibling for comparison. The unidentified person was then positively identified as Jimmy Allen Dollison. The KBI and Anderson County Sheriff's Office continue to investigate the circumstances of Jimmy's death. If you have any information regarding his disappearance or murder, please call the KBI at 1-800-572-7463, or you can report your tips online at www.kbi.ks.gov/SAR and see if we can, now that we know who he is, see who did what they did to him. So we can get some answers that way now.
It's amazing what they can do with DNA now, with all of the updates and everything that they've developed over the years.
Yeah.
Since 1972, that's a long time. But the things that they can do now to identify people is just incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's really incredible. I mean, this case is over 50 years old, and they were still able to extract DNA, run it through genealogy, genetic testing, come up with the siblings, compare the DNA to the siblings, and definitively say, hey, this is Jimmy Dollison, which is really good. I mean, now their family knows, that was him. Now it's, like I said, just a matter of finding out who's responsible and bringing them to justice if they're still among us.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they have.
Yeah.
So this is Carolyn DeLapp. She's missing from Wichita, Kansas. She's been missing since December of 2022. At the time of her disappearance, she was 69 years old. She's 70 now. She's 5'3", weighs 200 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Carolyn's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call Wichita, Kansas Police Department investigators at 316-268-4407 or email the investigator at aowen@wichita.gov, or you can call 316-263-6011, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Any information that you have is important, and there's no detail that's too small. So make sure anything at all, call.
Right. And I do think the age now might be wrong. I was using KBI's information, but I think that might be wrong because, I mean, it's been over 2 years, so surely she would be 71 by now. But like I said, I'm just going by what KBI has. I'm going to do some more digging and see what I can find. And I do want to say hey to Christopher, and I see Audra Harris is here. How you doing, Audra? Audra's actually my ex-wife. She pops in from time to time when I'm doing the show, which is greatly appreciated.
Awesome.
Esther's here. How you doing, Esther? All right.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is one that I just updated today. I added the 2 outside pictures to this today. They were commented on the flyer when I reshared it earlier. There was one other one, but I couldn't really use it because when I enlarged it, it blurred it too bad. But this is Kyle, and I hope I say this last name right, Neugebauer. I'm hoping I say that right. Mr. from Wichita, Kansas. It's December 17th, 2024. 26 years old, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He's last seen near 143rd Highway and 254 in Wichita. And he's 26, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing a black Carhartt jacket, jogging pants, and tennis shoes. If you have any information regarding Kyle's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And so we can do to get Kyle located and back to his family.
Yeah, the pictures are interesting. They look different ages on those, although they were pretty all close together. So.
Yeah, I commented when she sent the 2 outer pictures that they appeared to be, considerably younger there. That I felt like the 2 inner ones that I have been using were the more recent. And she said the 2 outer ones were actually 2 months prior to his disappearance. So I don't know.
Yeah, you just never know. This is Jake Kenyon. Next to his picture, you'll see the 2018 Honda Accord that's similar to his. He's been missing from Salina, Kansas, and has been missing since January 23rd of 2022. At the time of his disappearance, he was 30 years old, and he would now be 33. He's 5'6", weighs 175 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was last seen in Salina, Kansas. He has never been heard from again. Jake may be driving a white 28 Honda Accord with the New Jersey license plate number X64PJD. There's a picture of a similar car, like I said, above that would be similar to his. He was a resident of Maple Shade, New Jersey, and it is their police department that is investigating his disappearance. He was not reported missing until July 13th of 2022, which is quite a bit of time from when he was last seen. At the time of his disappearance, Jake was 30 years old. He is now 33. He is 5'6", and weighs 175 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Jake's ears are pierced, and he may wear eyeglasses. He has a tattoo of a flaming skull on his left forearm and a tattoo of a scorpion on his right forearm. He was last known to be wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, dark blue jeans, and Puma shoes. If you have any information regarding Jake's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Maple Shade, New Jersey Police Department at 856-779-7111 or 856-234-8300. If you have any information, just be sure to pass it on to that. So this one, do you have any idea why he was in Salina, Ricky?
That I don't know. I just happened to run across this case on charlieproject.org, and I looked him up on KBI, and he's not listed on KBI. And then I saw that it's the New Jersey Police Department is investigating, so he wouldn't be on KBI. So hopefully we can help get him found and make sure he's all right. I mean, it's been a little over 3 years, so.
Yeah, it's just interesting that it was, New Jersey that's reported him, but he's been missing from Salina. So that's why I was kind of wondering why maybe he was in Salina.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had some pretty interesting comments on his flyer on the page that I've gone through and read, and it's just kind of make me scratch my head a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got some interesting undertones to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one we've covered before, but I wanted to keep her in there because still no idea where Kimberly Barnes is, but she's missing out of Hutchinson, Kansas since June 28th, 2024. 57 when she went missing. She's now 58, 5'8", 210 pounds, blonde and gray hair, brown eyes. She is diagnosed bipolar and schizophrenic and has been without her medication. She also does suffer from substance abuse issues, and she is not stable to be out on her own. Kimberly does not have any money with her. All this information I got from family. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 57. She's now 58, 5'8", 210 pounds, blonde and gray hair, brown eyes. She does wear eyeglasses occasionally. If you have any information regarding Kimberly's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Hutchinson, Kansas Police Department at 620-694-2800 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't do what we can to get Kimberly located and back to where she needs to be. And Happy Camper says, are multitasking and listening, and the audio sounds great. Well, I'm glad the audio sounds good. I was having some technical issues right before the show, and I think hopefully I got them situated for the night. We'll see.
Hopefully. You never know. Technology can be pretty tricky sometimes.
Yeah, it's great when it works.
Yeah, until it doesn't. And then... okay, this is Adam Joseph Herman. He was missing from Tijuana, Kansas. It's been missing since July 1st of 1999, so he's been gone for a long time. At the age of his disappearance, he was 11 years old. His age now would be 37, height 4 feet 4 inches, and 67 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. He was last seen in Tijuana, Kansas, sometime during the late spring or summer of 1999. His photo is shown above is age progressed to 21 years. He lived in the Pine Ridge Mobile Home Park with his adoptive parents, Douglas Herman and Valerie Herman, and his 2 younger siblings. The Herman stated that Adam had run away during the first week of May after Valerie Herman had disciplined him. They said they were afraid to report him missing because they thought they might get into trouble with the authorities. They continued to collect adoption subsidy payments for Adam until his 18th birthday. His disappearance wasn't revealed to police until 2008 when his adoptive sister contacted them after she'd tried to locate him through the Kansas Department of Social and Rehabilitative Services and discovered that SRS believed he'd been with the Hermans until he turned 18, something his sister knew that was not true. The Hermans were charged with felony theft for accepting subsidy payments and claiming Adam on their tax returns, but they were never charged with his disappearance. Police searched their current residence and the mobile home where they lived in 1999. No human remains were found, but the authorities said they discovered the answer to one of the questions they'd had, but they've declined to elaborate on what that was that they found. Investigators have been unable to find any evidence that Adam is still alive, and his case remains unsolved. His birth name was Irvin Sylvester Groening III. He wears eyeglasses with gold wire frames. He has a birthmark on his back at the waistline, about 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch in size, numerous scars on his abdomen, and a 3/4 inch scar on the inside of his left thigh. If you have any information regarding Adam's disappearance or know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita Police Department at 316-268-4220 or the Butler County, Kansas Sheriff's Department at 316-320-1294 or 866-484-5924, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. This has been a long time. I remember when this case was first announced, and they were trying to figure out what happened to Adam. It's incredible that they still haven't been able, after all this time, to figure that out, especially when they've got the adoptive parents that have been charged with the felony theft piece.
Right. And the adoptive father, or whatever you want to call him, he has since passed, so he is no longer with us. So, but the adoptive mom still is. I think my understanding was she moved out of state, I believe. Not for sure, but I think that's what I read. She'd moved out of state. So, but yeah, if anybody has any idea, any information, please get that out there.
Definitely, to be able to do that.
I've really got to get my updated flyer in here for Dyer, because I've got a more updated one than that one. She's missing from Lawrence, Kansas since March 21st, 2025. She's 74, 5'2", 117 pounds, black and gray hair, brown eyes. She was last seen on the 21st around 8 o'clock in the morning. She was last seen leaving her home on foot near 5th Street and California Street in Lawrence. And she's 74. She's 5'2", weighs 117 pounds, has black and gray hair and brown eyes. She was believed to be wearing a black jacket with pink lining or a pink hoodie, multicolored pants, and carrying a backpack and a floral patterned bag. If you have any information regarding Wanda's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department Dispatch 785-843-0250 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to help get her located and back to where she needs to be. I did read some comments stating that she may have been seen getting into a vehicle, possibly. I don't know if they've been able to confirm that, but I did see some comments to that effect. And I see Candy Perez is here. How you doing, Candy?
Yeah. Hopefully they can find her.
Yeah.
Or even figure out, what the car looks like or something like that to give some more information.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. This is Jonathan John R. Jensen. He's been missing from Kerwin, Kansas, and has been missing since June 14th of 2023. At the time of his disappearance, he was 52 years old. He's 54 now. He's 5 foot 11 inches, 190 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. Again, he was missing from Kerwin, Kansas on or about June 14th of 2023. Jonathan left without his vehicle, cell phone, or wallet, He does have mental health issues and occasionally has episodes. At the time of his disappearance, Jonathan was 52 years old. He is now 54, 5'11", and weighs 190 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Jonathan's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Phillips County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-543-6885, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017.
Yeah, definitely. I was hoping to see his daughter in the comments again tonight, but I haven't seen her yet, so maybe she'll join us later.
Yeah, I haven't seen her down there either. I know she's worried sick about him, and
yeah, she is. That's why we want to keep getting him, keep getting his face on here, keep talking about him, try not to let him be forgotten, and see what we can do to get him found.
Yes. So, a lot of these families, they want answers and deserve answers, and people deserve to be found and have cases solved so that they get some peace and ability to just have the peace knowing what happened to their loved ones.
Right. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help bring that to them. This is another one. Casey Kaylin Shannon McMurray, missing from Salina since January 1st, 2025. She's 35, 5'2", 136 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. She may wear eyeglasses. If you have any information regarding Casey's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can get Casey located and back to where she needs to be. I know she does have kids, and I'm sure they're probably worried about her, and see what we can do to help get them back to her.
Yeah, absolutely. This one always strikes me because you can see such a difference in the pictures within just a few months apart.
Yeah,
So hopefully they can get her, found and maybe get her a little bit of help.
yeah, definitely. You were like you were alluding to the two outer pictures were from January of 2024, and then the one in the middle was from July of 2024. So just several months apart. So, so we can do to get her found, make sure she's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've read comments on her flyers, and then a lot of them are not very good, but
Yeah,
still deserves to be found. Her loved ones still need to know that she's okay.
yeah, absolutely. And even if somebody has something like substance abuse issues or anything like that, doesn't mean that they deserve any less than anybody else. It's, we want everybody to come back and be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Between 135 to 150 pounds. He has black hair and black eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any information regarding Jose's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Shawnee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-251-2200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's get him back home.
Definitely.
I don't know what my problem is tonight, but I keep getting tongue-tied, so please excuse me. Kind of seem to be picking up my own language as I go.
This is his brother Juan, Juan Sanabria Haskey. Missing since April 3rd, 2025. He's 15, 5'5", 150 pounds, black hair and black eyes also. If you have any information regarding Juan's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Shawnee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-251-2200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get these two brothers located and back to where they need to be. And see, my Aunt Shelly is here watching from Texas. How you doing, Shelly?
Hi, Shelly. Okay, this is Cale Murray. He is missing from Sabetha, Kansas. He's been missing since April 1st of 2025. He is 16 years old, 5'11", 155 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Cale's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please contact the Sabetha, Kansas Police Department at 785-284-2158 or contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's get him back to where he belongs and home safely.
Yeah, definitely. Been missing since my birthday. Doing pretty good, Shelly. Been keeping busy and moving right along. This one is Lorenzo Sanchez, and I know I've got his flyer hiding in here somewhere. Missing from Kansas City, Kansas since March 16th, 2025. 16 years old, 5'5", 120 pounds, dark brown or black hair, dark brown eyes. He does have health conditions that require medication that he does not have with him. And he's 16, 5'5", 120 pounds, has dark brown, black hair, and dark brown eyes. Has a tattoo of the Kansas City Royals logo and "Rest in Peace, Ron" with the dates 9/2/79 and 12/2/21 on his arms. And he has a small cross on the back of his left hand. You can see the pictures of him down there at the bottom there. If you have any information regarding Lorenzo's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get Lorenzo located and back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, that middle one is a pretty unique tattoo for somebody, so that would be a great thing if you see that, to look at that and see. I also want to point out too, at the bottom right-hand corner of all of the flyers, you see the QR codes. So that'll take you to the Facebook page, correct?
Yes, takes to the Kansas Missing and Unsolved Facebook page.
Perfect. So you can always scan those if you see something, and it'll take you right to that spot.
Yep. And thank you, Aunt Shelley, for the happy belated birthday down there. I see that. 58 years young.
Oh, yeah. See, you're a young guy.
Yep.
50 years. Yeah, you're only a few years older than I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not much. Not much. I'll be 55 this year. That's a little scary. So,
yeah.
All right. This is Shelby McDaniel. She is missing from Kansas City, Kansas. It's been gone since March 26th of 2024. At the time of disappearance, she was 16 years old. She is now 17. She's 5 foot 5 inches tall, weighs 164 pounds, with blonde white hair and blue eyes. Shelby has ties to Crestline, Kansas, Columbus, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, so she could be possibly in any of those places. At the time of her disappearance, she was 16. She's now 17, 5 foot 5 inches tall, weighs 164 pounds, with blonde white hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Shelby's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017. She's been gone for over a year, so hopefully we can get her found, so that way her family knows what's going on and get her back to where she needs to be.
Yeah, and the most recent photo I added to that flyer was the photo second from the right, and I really like that photo because it's unfiltered, no heavy makeup, shows her hair. I like that picture. If I could have pictures like that for every flyer that I do, I tell you, I would be tickled. But
there's so many different filters now off of the cell phones, cameras, that it just, it's hard to tell sometimes because makeup looks different, hair looks different, eyes look different. It's, there's so much of a difference, and, just features that sometimes it makes it difficult, I think, for people to see.
I see Kelsey Youngblood popped in. How you doing, Kelsey? This one's Selena Morgan, missing from Leavenworth, Kansas since March 26, 2025, 15 years old. 5 foot 5, 140 pounds, red or auburn hair and blue eyes. Don't have much more than that, other than she does have a pierced nose. If you have any information regarding Selena's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Leavenworth, Kansas Police Department at 913-682-4411 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Selena located and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah.
And Kelsey says she's at work. I took the week off. It's winding down though. I go back Saturday.
Those vacations go so fast.
Oh, I know.
This is Bonita, aka Jaden Elaine Wallace. She is missing from Kansas City, Kansas, and has been missing since October 11th of 2022. At the time she disappeared, she was 15, and she's now 17. She's 5 foot 5 inches tall, 130 pounds, with brown hair that could be dyed black and red, as in the pictures above. She has brown eyes. It is believed that she may still be in the Kansas City, the Wyandotte County, Kansas area. So she may still be around there. She has a small tattoo of 2 small black triangles on her upper right arm and a birthmark on the back of her leg. She was last seen wearing a pink and blue hoodie and blue jeans. If you have any information regarding Bonita's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please contact the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or call a KBI at 785-296-4017. I know that the picture of the tattoo on that bottom part of the flyer on her that shows us on her upper right arm, was that the one that you got from a family member?
Yeah, from her dad. He provided that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well as the middle name Elaine, because I didn't have that either. So
Yeah. It's always nice when you can talk to family members. It's, better to get more information, and things like that with the pictures that can mean so much of a difference.
Yeah, because I've been wondering about what that tattoo looked like for a long time. And I just happened to run across a post of his posting about her. And so I reached out to him, and it took him a few days, but he finally answered, and we talked for a while, and he got me that photo. And like I said, then, gave me her name, Elaine, and that kind of thing. So it was nice to talk to him and get that information from him. And it helped me out. So thank you to him.
All right, we got one more segment, and then we got a located safe video from everybody. So we'll do one more segment, about 4 or 5 flyers, and then we'll do a located safe. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved.
Cool.
Part 3. Out-of-state cases. Beyond Kansas borders, stories of the lost and the unsolved remind us that every missing voice deserves to be heard.
Okay. And this is one I just did day before yesterday. I guess it took me a couple days to get it done because I was trying to verify some stuff. But this is Jessica Marie Hatfield, or she may use the last name Van Bruggen. Hope I said that right. Missing from Albuquerque, New Mexico since March 18th of 2025. She's 40, 5'3", 160 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. It is believed that she may be in danger and her family is concerned for her safety. Again, she's 40 years old, 5'3", 160 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She does have a tattoo on her lower back of a butterfly. If you have any information regarding Jessica's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Albuquerque, New Mexico Police Department at 505-242-2677. Her family does tell me that there is a remote chance that she might be in the Hutchinson, Kansas area. That's one of the other reasons I was contacted also. But see what we can do to help get her found and back to her family. I know they're extremely worried about her. So let's see what we can do to help that out.
About how many of the cases that you see do you get contacts from families?
It's increasing. It used to be mainly just like off law enforcement Facebook pages and stuff I would find online, but the family members that contact me is increasing now. Families, friends of families, I'll get messages saying, hey, a friend of mine's, family member's missing. Can I put them in touch with you? Or how can we get it on the page? And I'll tell them what I need and I'll relay that to them. And they kind of do the go between. But it's always good when I can talk to family, because I like we were saying, you get more information, sometimes pictures of tattoos or something, and it really does help out.
Yeah, I think it's a good point with talking to the families. So if you see somebody out there that somebody is missing, if there's a family member, have them reach out, because the more information that Ricky has when he puts on these flyers and his team for that, the better chance we have of being able to find them and bring them back home.
Yeah, I had a situation where there was a teenager that was missing, and she was believed to be with a boy, and he was on KBI as missing. No photo though, but thankfully her family was actually able to get me a photo of him, so I was actually able to make his flyer. Thankfully they got me the photo so I could, and so I made his flyer too. They've both been since located, and I believe they're on the located safe reel as well, I think. But yeah, it's helpful when I can talk to a family member, because, like I said, in that instance, it helped me get a flyer made for the boy where I wouldn't have been able to because I didn't have a photo. So
yeah,
it helps. Any little bit of help I can get, is very helpful.
Yeah, that's amazing, when you get those contacts.
Yeah.
So this is Leah R. Batten. She is missing from Independence, Missouri, and has been missing since September 6th of 2024. At the time of her disappearance, she was 12 years old and is now 13. She is 5 feet tall, weighs 105 pounds, with red hair and blue eyes. At the time of her disappearance, Leah was last known to be wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, black Crocs shoes, and was carrying a black duffel bag. If you have any information regarding Leah's disappearance, or of her whereabouts, please call the Independence, Missouri Police Department at 816-325-7300, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or at 866-362-6422. Let's get her found and back where she needs to be, where her family knows where she's at.
There's John Jensen's daughter. Yeah, we did cover his flyer earlier in the show for you, and I did add the information on the flyer today. It's actually on the flyer now, and I got to repost it. I haven't reposted it yet, but it does have the information you gave me about him having mental health issues and occasionally having episodes. So I'm going to repost that after the show. I did get it added in there so I can make sure I had it for the show, but I will get it posted on the page as soon as we get done. Yep, right there. And he's missing from Kerwin, Kansas since June 14th, 2023. 52 when he went missing. He's now 54, 5'11", 190 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. Left without his vehicle, his cell phone, or his wallet, and he does have mental health issues and does occasionally have episodes. Again, he was 52 when he went missing. He's now 54, 5'11", 190 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. All the information regarding his disappearance, so you know where he's at. Call the Phillips County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-543. Boy, that numbers are small. 888. Let me pull up my version of it here. It'll help me out here. I've got it right here. 785-543-6885, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Jonathan located and back home to his family, because, again, we know Jessica's really worried about him and wanting to get him home. Now, Queenie, we backed it up to 8 o'clock is what we did.
This is Mariah Lee Cockshell. She's missing from Gladstone, Missouri, and has been missing since March 21st of 2025. She is 26 years old. Is 5 feet 1 inch, weighs 150 pounds, black hair and hazel eyes. Her last known location was in the area of 54th and Prospect around 2 o'clock a.m. on March 22nd of 2025. She was reported missing on the 24th. Mariah is 26 years old, 5 foot 1 inch tall, weighs 150 pounds, with black hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Mariah's disappearance, or of her whereabouts, please call the Gladstone, Missouri Police Department at 816-436-3550, or you can contact the TIPS line at 816-474-8477, or contact the Missouri Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or 866-362-6422. Hopefully they can find Mariah quickly so she can come back home.
And another one down there, Skank Hunter 007 says, "Hey Ricky and Janine, how you doing down there?" And this appears to be
Nice
the
to see you.
last flyer for the night. T. Montez Hurt, missing from Lee Summit, Missouri since February 1st of 2024. 19 when he went missing. He's now 20. 6'1", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. T. Montez, who is originally from Tennessee, had a mental breakdown on January 31st, 2024, in Kansas City around 3:45 in the morning. He went to St. Luke's Hospital, located in the plaza, for treatment. After his episode, T. Montez's family purchased him a Z-Trip to the Greyhound bus station so he could travel to St. Louis to be with his grandmother. He left his cell phone behind in the Z-Trip. He has not had any contact with anyone since. He does not know his way around Kansas City as he is from Tennessee. He was last seen walking on Troost at the beginning of the month, which would have been February of 2024. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 19. He would now be 20. 6'1", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Last known to be wearing a royal blue Price Chopper polo shirt, dark green sweatpants, and black high-top Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding T. Montez's disappearance, so you know of his whereabouts, please call Missouri State Highway Patrol Troop A at 816-622-0800, or the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, 816-234-5043, or 816-234-5111. Too many ones. So let's see what we can do to help get T. Montez located and back home to his family, because they're there again. Another family that I know is worried, sick about, T. Montez, wanting him home, wanting to make sure he's safe. So let's see what we can do to help make that happen.
As you can see on the bottom banner, in the free zone with Norm is going to be right after our show. And that's always a great show. You don't want to miss it. It's always informative and entertaining. So please join in.
All right.
And I have a located safe reel. They will get more sophisticated as time goes on, but we did want to bring back the located safe reel. So I'll go ahead and run that, and then you guys can sort of talk us out of here. But thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be right back after this.
All right. All right. Always good to see the located safes out there. I always like seeing that. Like I said, this week's been pretty busy for me. I did a lot of updates to located safe. I've made new ones. I've been monitoring comments because I'm still seeing those scammer comments that I keep seeing about police have released disturbing footage of the incidents with what appears to be an official looking news link, which is it's scam. Leave them alone. Don't click them. Whatever you do, just don't. And I'm seeing a new one today. I've seen a couple times about. I found a new way to make money online. I was like, okay, delete. You're gone, because I don't want to deal with those either, because I know those are scams too. Just like real quick, and then I'll get us out of here. But just like those, I've been seeing a ton of these in my news feed, and I've been tagged on a bunch of them where it's like either missing persons or male-female serial killer couple, missing pets, stuff like that are bait and switch scams is what they are. If you look at sometimes it's a profile, sometimes it's a page, but you can clearly see they're fake. And the poster that posts those turns off the comments, and I don't know if people message them or they wait for them to be shared and then contact the people that share them or what they do, but they unleash a bait and switch scam, and it usually involves real estate on those things. So, be sure if you see, and they originate most of the time from buy sell trade groups and pages and stuff like that. So, be sure you're double checking on that stuff, because usually, every one of those I've seen are fake. And a lot of times what they do, and I've said this in comments when I comment on those things, all they do is change up the photos, change up the names, and change up the towns and repost them is what they're doing. That's all they're doing. I finally saw one out of a Salina one today, and I'm like, oh boy, finally made it here. So just really watch that stuff. Share the missing person stuff from a reputable page like Kansas Missing and Unsolved, from a law enforcement page, from any other reputable missing persons page or group. Typically on those buy sell trade, there may be a legit one every once in a while. But when you see those kinds of things where it's like the same person side by side, same picture, or the male female serial killer couple, or missing pets, missing older person, look at the poster, visit their profile, visit their page, look how fake it is. And when you see that, and a lot of times they'll have pictures of like kitchens or bathrooms or bedrooms or whatever on there too. So, okay, it's a scam. So, really check into those things. I don't mind being tagged on them, because I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then at least that way I can look at them and I can comment on them and say, hey, this is a scam, and cite the reasons why it is and things like that. So you just got to be real careful. But with that, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight and hanging with us while we're doing the show and going over the flyers and cases and stuff. And please do continue sharing the show and sharing the flyers. It is working. It is getting people found. I've had many instances of people saying your flyer was directly responsible for this person being found. So I know it's working. But with that being said, I just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for being with us tonight. And thank you for getting us together so we can go over cases again and try to get these people found and these unsolved homicides solved. Just got to reach the right ears, the right heart to do the right thing. We pray these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Until we see each other again next week, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless, and amen.
Amen.
Back Home Media.